Hi guys, Puddin here with a game for you on my Tier 10 Japanese torpedo boat, the Shimakaze. Now, my captain skills are going to be preventative maintenance, expert marksman, last stand, survivability expert, torpedo reload, radio position finder, and concealment. My modules are going to be protect the main battery, faster in protecting the engine, repairing the engine, better aiming, faster rudder, concealment, and faster torp reload. Now, as you can see, we're on islands of ice, and Bongs and me have always fought very hard for sea because sea is ours. If you haven't seen that video where Bongs and myself come back from a huge deficit, simply just we spent a lot of time at sea. I think it was close to 15 minutes when we finally actually got out of sea, and we still came back to win the game. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to take up the E8 position for getting this cap. If you look around the mini-map, it is going to be around here again. You know, I want to be up on this part, not down by this island, not spotting anything, not letting anybody know where things are, because everybody just goes and parks behind the island. If you can get on a really good angle, parking behind that island becomes useless, especially if you can get spots out and torpedoes out on the guys behind it. You really limit your team to vision, to information, to what is going on, and potentially spotting some torpedoes, or when somebody wants to poke their nose from behind the island. Now, as you can see, I have all three of my torp tubes. I'm running preventive maintenance. I'm running, protect the main battery, which also protects the torpedo tubes. And let's just say something bad is going to happen coming up. But as I am trying to reverse spot these guys, I'm just sitting like on this angle. You know what? This owl's really not going to torp. His torps are not up and ready yet. But there's the YY behind the island, and I'm sure he got surprised to all heck, and he actually panic smokes. I was going to pull forward because I didn't want to get into a pew-pew contest with a YY, but he pretty much wastes a smoke by smoking up there. Now, I'm not too worried about the YY or his torp. Well, I'm not worried about his torps. But I am worried about that second smoke cloud. I don't know what it is. Nothing was spotted over there. But the YY, for whatever reason, instead of playing it cautiously, is going to play it a little aggressively. Now, while it may not look like I don't have help, as one of my torpedoes actually hits the Republic. Now, I call this out and I say, I think one of my torps hit the YY. He gets spotted. I'm like, nope, it must have definitely hit the Republic. But this YY is charging me. He doesn't have radar. His torpedoes aren't going to do anything. And as long as I can get this guy to fire once, I should be able to angle up, smoke up, and hopefully he's running some sort of ATF or longer range for his guns to where somebody else will be able to pick him up, as the evil smoke cloud destroys my #1 torpedo tube launcher. So now I'm nothing more than a Yagumo that had access to 20-kilometer torpedoes. I'm down to 2 torpedo tubes, and that's fine. As one of the dogs just goes, nope, that's not fine. You're a shimmy, you need all 3. But I'm going to send torps against this Repub because, you know what? He is bowing, and you know what? Maybe I can get 1 torpedo to hit him. But they are on a slight little delay because it was #1 that went out, not #3. But this delay could work in my favor. Like, if I can get 1 torp hit on the Republic, floods, repairs, and then one of these other ones come in just as it's ending and get another flood, this guy will flood out. Now, there's a Seattle, and the Seattle kind of made me want to push to the corner, and there's the Minotaur. We know the Minotaur doesn't have radar because he used his smoke cloud, and guess who's sailing broadside in front of all of my torpedoes? Now, this guy has to know he destroyed a torp tube. He has to know it's me, and he should know that I have 3 launchers, but I'm down to 2. But what this guy does, he slows down, and I'm not exactly sure why, but I do believe he is going to smoke up. But my torpedoes are still going, and he's still in that area as kaplow. I do not know why that was not a dev strike, because I do believe I did all the damage to that gentleman. But I managed to get a torpedo hit on the Republic again. I think the game is making up for me losing 1 torpedo by actually having my torpedoes hit something I'm aimed at and something that I am not aimed at. Now, luckily for us, the Neptune comes in from B side and finishes off the YY. And at this point, like, I'm kind of lucky that my torpedo tubes were out of sync, because, you know, I'm going to have enough time to get this cap, come out, and deal with the Republic, who's probably not long for this life, considering he's definitely had a lot of torpedoes and HE shells thrown at him. Now, I'm launching 1 set at where he last was, but holding my 2nd set for when I know exactly where he is and to see if he's going to make any sort of movement or push. I have plenty of smoke clouds in front of me to conceal this guy. This guy's sitting in a smoke cloud. And I see his health. I see him burning. I'm like, you know what? My guns are just going to be so much faster. Just shoot him. Torpedoes away. Whatever. These things reload. Time to move on to the next target. Now, these guys are in bad shape. As far as ships, and it's kind of at this point where I get a little bit greedy. I failed to remember that there was another Shimmy alive, that they had 1 destroyer left, and I failed to see where he was last positioned on the minimap. I thought he would be more by his battleships over by A, because that's really what I was looking for, is what battleship or cruise, like, what could I go after next. I don't know how long that Shimmy was last spotted, and, you know, nobody's calling out torps like bongs or griefers, like, hey man, I've just been torped from over here, or, you know, this is where the Shimmy is. Now, I'm well within Seattle radar range, so it would be stupid to smoke up and pew this guy. But I am looking for torps, and then I see all the shells coming in, and I'm like, you know what, it's a waste of time. Now, I could have pew-pewed there, but I'm like, my shells wouldn't make it. Like, with everything that was coming in on that poor guy, just wasn't going to happen. Now, RPF is pointing towards the actual DD, I think, or the Edinburgh Row. Still not entirely sure, but like I said, I'm drooling over the ships that are in A. And this is one griefer points out, no, the Shimmy's down over here somewhere. I'm like, well, do you guys want to come back and help you out? And he's like, nah, we got it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. Because, you know, we have the black up here, but with the ships that they have left, you know, they can start deleting things. You know, they still have 2 very powerful battleships with an awful lot of health. But the Hindenburg's going to just go for it. As somebody uses the radar, and I don't know why. But the Republic has a lot of health. I don't want to send against the Bismarck because I'm not sure what the black is doing. I'm paying attention to the way the black is positioning. Up. I look at the rune. I'm like, no, freaking Hindenburg's in a way. Let me try to get behind the Republic. Hopefully the Hindenburg's not going to keep pushing the Repub due to his health. Maybe he's just going to try to tank him. You know, realizing that, you know, he's got his team coming up from behind. There's no reason for him to push him as the Bismarck manages to finish him off. And I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I can get in on this Repub. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to happen because of this island, and this guy's going for it. I'm like, well, let me pew. This guy's low enough. Let me use the island. Oh no, he can still spot me. So, you know, in my smoke cloud, pew what I can. There's no like, oh, we need to kill this guy. It's burning. I mean, look at all those shells coming in as our Edinburgh bro manages to finish him off. I'm actively looking at the Bismarck because I see our black is angled away. It's probably going to drop these and run away. Now, I'm actually going to have to reverse far enough out of my smoke to actually shoot and get these torpedoes off on this guy. I am going to drop both sets of torpedoes on this guy. I'm going to wait a couple seconds, then switch to my guns and let this guy know that I definitely, you know, like, hey, something just retargeted me. Oh no, it's the shimmy. And I'm kind of hoping that he's going to turn out a little bit as I just pull forward right back into my smoke cloud. I'm hoping he DCPs that fire and I can manage to get a flood on this guy. I do not believe this guy had his hydro up because there's one, there's two torps. But you know what? Luckily we did get it, and you know what? He did not DCP this, so his DCP is clearly down. He is flooding and he is burning. Now, I probably should have said something to the black, like, hey, 20-kilometer torps. And I kind of start laughing at this point, and I go, you know what, man? The rune might actually run into some of these torps. And Griefer and them goes, there's no chance. Time is going to run out before that happens because the Edinburgh bro was going to die. That's going to be my last, well, anything as far as actually doing anything. So now we are going to check out the post-battle results. Now, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video of me using the LOL torps. That's just what I'm calling them from now on. They are actually viable, once again, as I've demonstrated in 2 games. So if anybody makes fun out of you or you're just getting into shimmy, don't worry about it. You can make these torpedoes work. Like I pointed out in the other video, you have to be extremely careful where and when you launch these things. Please remember to check out our our favorite streamers. Unfortunately, Static is having a hiatus issue, but Oni, Sea Raptor, and Zath are still streaming. We do appreciate all of the support you guys do give us. We do appreciate the replays you send us. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We're quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.